close the door quickly. Okay. Today is the first month, the 7th day of the first month of
2019.
2019. We're going to call it 2020 though, because everything we do this year,
2020.
when motherfuckers start in 2020 start saying they've been doing that shit, we'll be like, we did that shit last year.
Last year, 2020.
We're a year ahead of you motherfuckers. All right, what do we want to talk about?
Podcast number 10, by the way.
Let's talk about what happened what did we do this weekend? What did you do?
This weekend, I cleaned out a shitter.
But
Shitter was
what
full.
else did you do? Anything?
Not really. Well, I've been playing with I'm playing with some different guns, but
Where's that toolbox at?
which toolbox?
The red and black one you sent me a photo
Oh,
of.
that
I'm
is
assuming that you sent it because it was SOE colored.
Yeah, well, because I've never seen
At
Crafts. Lowe's now sells Craftsman since Sears is defunct, but I've never seen a Craftsman toolbox where it was reversed like that.
Right. It was
Usually it's
cool.
all red,
Yeah.
and then the highlight is black. This was all black with highlights red.
Super sweet.
Yeah.
How much was it?
I mean, I think it was. I want to say it was like, $250 for the bottom, $250 for the top. It's like.
You know what that would mean, though?
What would that mean?
We'd have to buy all more tools.
Yeah, a whole new. I actually was looking at that toolbox, and I'm like, fuck, man, I have been buying all these. What's Lowe's? Cobalt. I've been buying all these Cobalt tools
Because it's supposed to be the modern day Craftsman.
Yeah, and they're cleaning out. At least that's the way it looked like there. Is they're kind of cleaning out Cobalt and trying to phase in.
Really? Because see, I saw Craftsman tool boxes at Lowe's for like a year now, but I never saw Craftsman tools.
Yeah, I think they're getting ready to make a transition. Which
And Stanley's got really nice like black.
fuck you.
Stanley has black anodized.
Because now I have to.
So cool.
That's what I like is all the black anodized.
Because I don't really use my tools. I just have.
Right, they have to look good.
They have to look good on the lift next to the Ferrari. How about today? Did you have a good day today?
It was long. I'm tired.
I had fun though.
No, I mean, yeah, it was fun. So some of you are going to, here shortly, you're going to see this video that we just did. This video is probably going to be a minute long, and you're going to see this tool bag flying in the air and tool bag getting hosed down.
We drove over it, we drug it, we threw it.
It was just like a movie, though, in the sense of John had to throw that bag 11 times.
That was each iteration.
Each way. So, like, the bag is actually, when you see the bag in the video, don't think that we just threw it once. John threw it, well, that would have been 22 times. John threw it 22 times. I threw the brick on it like 4 times.
Not a brick, a cinder block.
Cinder block.
Full, as hard as he could.
And then we ran it over like
5 or 6 times.
5 or 6 times, yeah.
Front and rear wheel.
That was fun. It's just interesting if you're actually going to ever do something that is cinematic, that has actually kind of a script going, you'll do 5 hours of video, and then once you edit it, it'll only be
Brandel got
8
in
minutes.
Here. Brandel walked through the door at like 8 o'clock this morning. He is still here right now. And even with all that, with Gabby being out there with us, we've got a podcast went up this morning. I just got notification a video of some sort has gone up. I put a video up. We shot all this stuff, and still everything that happens every day has still happened. So I'd call that a win, man. Today was a good day.
It was a good day, yep.
Today was what else you got? What can we talk about? I think it's important just to do a podcast. I always come in here and I go, I've got 5 minutes of material, and we go out and she's like, you guys just recorded 90 minutes.
5 minutes of material, yeah.
What else you got? Anything?
I don't have anything. I'm kind of burnt up on today already.
So, do you guys open a door, like when you go to grab a door handle, do you reach out with your hand palm down and open it from the top? Or do you grab it palm up and open it from the bottom?
I've already explained this. Don't listen to him.
Go ahead and explain it though, because I honestly didn't know why you said what you said. I was just fucking with you.
So John is wearing this ridiculous watch band with this just over-engineered Cobra buckle. So when he was reaching the door handle, it looked like his hand was upside down, and so I thought, oh, you have to turn because we're trying to draw attention to the watch. I'm like, you're going to have to turn the watch upside down so people see it when you open the door handle. And then he went on his whole tangent about nobody does that, which is not true. If you go out and open your F-150 truck door, you have to do it underhanded.
No, you don't.
Yeah, you have to.
Who has an F-150 truck?
Who overhands to get that thing?
She has the one. I'll bet that truck was custom ordered without air conditioning in it.
It's a possibility, but yeah.
But somebody did post how's a Humvee open.
A Humvee has a side latch, so
like a
Humvee has a side latch, so you would actually not be doing overhand or underhand. You'd be doing it from the side.
I'm pretty sure that's how the Super Duty is out there.
Your truck is that way.
My
your F-150 is that way.
250
or 250.
Come on, give me credit.
Okay, 250.
Even my Toyota has more fucking capacity and everything than an F-150. F-150 is like it's like buying a minivan that they just cut the back part off of and made a truck bed out of it. Come on, for real.
F-150's fine if that's all you got. If that's all you can, F-150.
If it's getting you to work, if it's getting you to work, and that's the position you're in, go ahead and just sell that motherfucker and get something more economical.
It's kind of like the Dodge. Some people can afford 3500s. Some people can only get 2400s.
That's right.
It's just one of those things. You
that's
can
right.
Just go to the level that
Jeff thought it'd be funny to pull the 1-ton shit off my truck and glue some 3/4 ton shit on it.
Oh shit.
That was funny.
I did think for the longest I thought you had the same exact truck.
I thought I did too. Eli told me it was 1 ton. I just trusted him.
Yeah. Well, he took the 1-ton stuff off of the other truck and put it under there, so you really do have a 1-ton.
Probably so.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Probably so. Off Curtis's.
Except it's a 1-ton from a 1986 Dodge Power Wagon or something.
Off a Kaiser Vietnam.
Off a Kaiser Vietnam Jeep truck. Yeah. What's exciting that's going on?
Rifle case.
The rifle case is really nice. You guys are going to like that once John finalizes it and
we're close.
Makes it so that somebody else can sew it.
No, we're close. The issues. The issue with the rifle case has always been how do you put the foam in it and then sew it together. I've never liked everybody's rifle cases because they leave such a amount of dead space inside so they can sew it and flip it. So you've got, while you have foam in there, you have these sloppy parts that are like a fucking wet diaper. So the other way to do it is basically build a pocket, and then it has like a Velcro or a zipper, and then you slide your foam in there. But every asshole in the world wants to open it. Goes, what's in this zipper? Yeah. And then fuck with the foam. So we have to find the medium that I like, and then the capability to build it.
So, I like it. It'd be perfect for an AR pistol or an AR broken down. 2 AR pistols. Yeah, 2 AR pistols. You put that centerpiece in there too.
Because it's a better version of the original old tool bag that I made that held cranks or MP5s. It would hold little small carbines in there. It was pretty cool.
Yeah. What else? We did something else. You did something else recently too, didn't you?
I did a lot of shit. It's not coming. Oh, so I sent a link to one of our last podcasts to Spearco because we talked about Jack in there, and I said, hey, we mentioned you here. Just skip forward to the 20-minute part. He's like, cool, awesome, thanks. This morning he got back. This was like Thursday or Friday or something. This morning he got back and said, hey, that's awesome. You guys are doing a podcast. I'm going to share it up on the group. I'm going to talk about it on my podcast today. So he had actually tagged me in a thing. He goes, hey, SOE, John Willis has a podcast. It's very adult language, even more so than mine. You guys know John. And so that was fucking cool. But we had talked about, how your babysitter in your pocket, how the first thing you do every morning is look at your phone, and while you're on the toilet, you're on your phone. And when you're at dinner, you look around restaurants and everybody's on their phone. And Jack said, yeah, I agree 100%. And Jack said he actually had mentioned that was one of his topics for today. Because his thing is always, you go to a restaurant, and you're there having a meal with somebody, but nobody's talking to each other. And he goes, I would give anything to have, one fucking meal back and be able to talk to my mother. And that's kind of his thing. Whereas all these people who are together are not fucking having any interaction. And I'm guilty of it myself. I catch myself, like, I'll pull this fucking thing out of my pocket, and I'm like, put it away. Put it away.
I think too that we're gonna find out the hard way that the brain itself is hardwired and trainable.
They've already said that.
So that if you need to remember a bunch of stuff, you can train your brain to remember a bunch of stuff. But the minute you no longer have to remember anything because you have that in your pocket, then your brain will not retain any of the information. It's probably the reason why most of your, most of the younger generation can't come up with anything that has to do with real facts about real history events without pulling their phone out. Like if you just ask them, what are the three branches of government? They all fuck it up because they never had to. It never had to be committed to memory because you always know that all I have to do is pull this out, which in turn means that the reality is in the future, whoever controls that information, i.e. Google, because they're doing it, they are slowly doing it right now. They can change the facts of history, and people will believe it because they don't remember a time before Wikipedia or. I mean, think about Wikipedia.
I can re-author it.
Yeah, think about Wikipedia. Wikipedia is an edible document. So they can change the history on Wikipedia right now without, there's no checks and balances in any of that shit. So go to the thrift stores and buy all the fucking Encyclopedia Britannica you can find.
Even those have changed over the years.
And hold on to them because... I bet in 20 years people are going to be like some crazy shit. There was nothing. World War II never happened, or something.
So, well, they're already saying. I mean, you have groups of people saying that like the Holocaust never happened. So one of the key programmers, they had a dude. The video I saw had a dude was one of the key programmers from Facebook, and another dude was one of the main programmers from Instagram. And he looks like Kumar from Harold and Kumar. Like I thought that's who it was for a second when I saw the video come up. So he said we knew that. He said we wanted you to have an endorphin release. He said we wanted you to have positive reinforcement. That's why we have the hearts. He said by being able to heart that and you get those numbers, you tried harder on your posts and it made you keep coming back for positive reassurance. So it actually, he said, we know that it changes the neural pathways. He said, I do not let my kids have any social media. I don't even let them have a phone. And Bill Gates said the same fucking thing. All of them have said the same thing. There's tons of video of them saying it out there. All your elite people, like, we don't let our kids have these phones.
It's a double-edged sword in the sense, I would say it's a double-edged sword when you talk about that, like, even Bill Gates or them saying, I don't let my child use this. The problem is, it creates a power curve that they're going to have to catch up later. The sad part is that technology is going to continue. It's going to continue, and we're going to become dumber and dumber. But if you don't know how to use that technology, if you don't know how to get in there and use the 14,000 different ways to put your podcast out.
Which we're finding
that you're going to be behind. You're going to be behind the power curve. So it's kind of a kind of delicate balance when you're talking about a cell phone, because the reality is when it comes to technology, kids will learn that technology faster. However, they need to get to the end goal. They may not understand any of the stuff in between, but they kind of have to use that technology. Unless, of course, the lights go out tomorrow and then they're all going to be bumping around into each other. But, if the future keeps moving forward in technology, you really have to almost let your kids play with all that stuff so they know how to... I mean, there's going to become a time when you're going to have to know that just to fucking go to the store or do anything, because the technology... When they get rid of all the cashiers and all that stuff. It'll be interesting. I mean, I'm assuming that you'll just, in the future, not too far in the distant future, you'll just walk through the store, and all the ads that you look at will change based off of your phone. So me and John won't be looking at the same ads. We'll be looking at two completely different ads, and everything that goes in my cart will get scanned. Everything that goes in my cart will get scanned before I even get up to the check. Yeah, they already have it, but they're not. It's not used.
So for the last 4 years, when I go to Lowe's, I have an app, and I can actually just fucking scan off my phone, and they're making it even easier. I'll tell you how they're going to do it. But they have an app, and I can just scan the barcode and check out on my phone, and I don't even go through the line at Sam's Club. I walk to the door and show the cashier that I've checked out on my phone. what they're going to do is all your carts are going to have a scan gun or they're going to have a reader built into the cart. Right now, did you notice, like, did you go to Lowe's the other day?
Yeah.
So I went to Lowe's a couple of weeks ago, and over half the lines in Lowe's are self-checkout now. So there was only 2 lines open. The 2 lines that were open with real human beings were really long.
The ones
so
in Dixon don't have these.
Amanda's like, hey, we only got a couple things. Let's just scan. So I go up, and I'm like, I hate these fucking things. You're going to have to do this. Guess what they have? They have a fucking scan gun. Boop, 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 boop. Fucking easy. I go, holy shit. Well, this is it right here. They just made this fucking simple. And then when I was at, I hadn't, like, other than you and I going to Walmart, I hadn't been to Walmart in probably 6 months. I went to a Walmart like 2 weekends ago to get a couple DVDs. Walmart now has the scan gun. They just made that shit so fucking simple.
Well, even the scan gun's going away because Walmart actually just recently bought the technology. They have overhead. They have an overhead reader. So, and that's where I was kind of going with it. You're just going to walk towards, as you're walking through Walmart, it's ticking your items up. When you get to where you're getting ready to leave, it's going to charge your phone. Like there ain't going to be anybody in there. Now,
once you have your neural interface patch, they'll just look right through your eye.
Yeah, the crazy thing here is though, and what people tend not to understand is you're creating an environment. You're creating an environment where you're going to have to do one of 2 things. One, you're going to have to make up fake jobs, or 2, you are going to have to pay people to do nothing. Because if Walmart gets rid of all those jobs, and if Lowe's gets rid of all those jobs, you're talking about people that there's going to be a ton of people that will not be able to do anything else.
We're already seeing it.
And
they walk through our door every fucking day.
To a certain extent, but we're talking about numbers. We're talking about numbers that will create a national problem.
100%.
So, what are you going to do? Raise taxes on the wealthy? Maybe that might be the case. There's already a bunch of people talking about universal paycheck. I think it's a terrible idea, but
they do it where all the reservations where there's a casino. They do it in Alaska.
And what you will find is in all those places, and I know somebody's going to go, well, they do it in fucking Finland or somewhere over there.
Cool, all 5,000 of them.
They stopped doing it. They're not doing it anymore. The reason why is because your productivity level on a whole goes down. There's no reason, if there's no benefit for you to excel in anything, then yes, of course there's going to be 10 people that will sweep trash for the rest of their lives. But somebody in that group is going to want to do something else. And that person's going to learn to drive a truck, and he's going to drive a truck, and that person's going to learn to use the ninja machine at the dump, so on and so on. So you get growth. If you stagnate growth, and that's unfortunately all your Democrats who are trying to be socialists, if you stagnate growth, you will lose all that. Meaning, there's no reason for a doctor to figure out how to cure cancer if he's getting a check from the state. Because guess what's going to happen? The state is going to go, oh, thank you very much for all that research you just did. We're going to give everybody this. I know what you're thinking. That sounds like a great idea. But the best medical facilities and the best medical treatments are here in the United States. Nowhere else. Go to Canada. Go ahead. Go to Canada and try and get something done. Go to England and try and get something done. When you go into a fucking hospital in England, you'll be like, holy shit, it's like Austin Powers 1964 in this place. Because there's no reason. There's no benefit for them. There's no benefit for them to create anything new. It's why all your cutting edge surgical procedures are done here in the United States. Why? Because for a doctor, there is a benefit. There's a benefit. He can make money off that cutting edge stuff. Does it suck if you're poor? It does. But no matter what you think, all that stuff does trickle down. So there are people right now that are lower income, but there are people right now that are lower income that are benefiting from medical advances that would not have happened if the United States wasn't doing medical the way they do. Is it too expensive? Yes, it's too expensive, but that has to do more with the government and less to do with hospitals.
Well, our poor people. Our poor people?
Well, yeah.
Our poor people have more money than fucking most people in the world. Our poor people all have a cell phone. Our poor people aren't starving.
If you're talking about world population, so if you're talking about world population and you make $32,000 a year, you are in the 1%.
Top 1%.
You're in the top 1% of the world if you make $32,000. So if you live in California, you are definitely not rich, right? It's where you live. If you were to come here, you'd probably live pretty good. But don't come here. If you live in California, you don't want to come here.
Don't go to Texas either.
It's hot. It rains all the time. There's always it's raining right now.
It smells like fish.
Smells like fish. You don't want to come here.
The fish just jump out of the water into your boat.
If you live in California, don't come here. They don't. There's nothing good happening in Nashville. Don't come here from California.
Why are you such a proponent of all the genealogy stuff? Like, why do you like 23andMe so much?
Jesus. I love 23andMe because they're going to use that information against you in the near future.
Hold on. Back onto the shopping cart thing, because it's along the 23andMe thing. Back on the shopping cart. When you guys are using the self-checkout and shit, well, anywhere really, but the self-checkout, everything, they're tracking everything you buy. Think about that. Every single thing you buy. Go watch any serial killer shit. They found half those fucking guys they caught, well, because of genealogy now. But back in, 10 years ago, they were catching all those dudes because of specific things they bought.
Yeah.
Most of them traveled. They followed certain corridors on jobs and stuff. They were truck drivers or whatever it was. And they'd buy some certain thing. The FBI went and data mined that shit. So just think right now, you guys that are going and buying ammo or whatever it is, there is a record of every single thing you bought. Fast forward 5 years, they ban ammo. They have a fucking list of exactly where to go. Like, it's becoming impossible to pay cash. It's very inconvenient at this point to pay cash. But it is getting to the point when you walk in places and they do not take cash anymore. There is a record of everything you bought. And if they decide tomorrow that fucking this organic fucking tomato sauce right here, you're not allowed to have it anymore, they'll have a record of right where to fucking go get that shit.
Yeah, I mean, Walmart right now. So just think about Walmart right now. If I went in there and I bought, I don't know, let's say I bought this
Lipton tea.
I bought some chicken flavored bouillon. Okay, and then I go commit a crime. Somewhere, and they find that. The detectives find that sitting in the room. There's actually an ID on that.
Everything in Walmart since 2000 has an RFID in it.
That goes to Walmart. Every purchase at Walmart, so when let's say you buy, it doesn't matter what you buy, but every time you're at the cash register and you're buying something, just go ahead and look up. There's a camera right there. That is giving a timestamp of what you purchased. So when they say we need to know, when they go in there and we need to know everybody who bought hot dogs today, it only takes Walmart about 20 minutes to be like, okay, all 25 of these people bought hot dogs. This is the time they bought those hot dogs.
And here's a picture of it.
And here's a fucking nice picture of it. And that's old technology. That's not new technology. That's old. They've been doing that for 20 years. So, I mean...
Everybody has a skeleton in their closet. And everybody who did something last year, in 2 years, something that you did last year, everybody has something, will become illegal next year.
And you don't know, and the sad part is, and this is, it's not, I don't really have to worry about this. I feel sorry for kids that are growing up now, because the thing you don't realize is there is a community standard right now that you are being held to that passes all timelines. So it doesn't matter how old something is. So if you said, I don't know, let's say you said, when you were in high school, you go, all transgenders should be shot.
Kevin Hart's a good example.
20 years down the road, that's public information. It's not public information, but you find the right troll, he's going to search all your feeds, and he's going to be like, oh my God, look at this fucker. He can't be president because he said this when he was in high school. And they're holding people to that standard. And Kevin Hart is a prime example. First off, he's a comedian.
Well, it's like me going, ha, fag, you should go suck some dicks.
First off, Kevin Hart is a comedian, and what he said was within those guidelines. But because we're holding people to, I don't want to say a higher standard, because it's not a higher standard.
It's a weaker standard.
It is most certainly a weaker standard. Because we're holding people to these standards, he is not going to do the Academy Awards. Anyways, he's not going to do the Academy Awards, and no one else wants to do it either. Why? Because as soon as they announce whoever it is, if they say, hey, Skully's going to do the Academy Awards, some fucking troll, and I'm saying it, a fucking troll in his basement eating tuna fish sandwiches that his mom made,
with Cheeto dust all over
is
his
going
dick.
to, all day.
And his mouth, because he was trying to suck his own dick.
Let me go through every fucking news feed and try and find out if Skully has said anything in his lifetime that someone would disagree with. Of course I have. And if you're foolish enough to believe... I try
to do it on a daily basis.
If you're foolish enough to believe that there are people out there that have not said offensive things, you are living in Fantasy Island. Even that troll in the basement has said offensive things. So, I mean...
That's the world we live in now, and you guys need to remember...
People need to fucking suck it up is what they need to do. They need to stop being a bunch of soft-hearted, thin-skinned fucking pussies about the stupidest shit.
So, like, you hear permanent record. Jack Spirko, you'll hear Jack say this all the time. I've heard him say it probably 100 times. He's like, when I was a kid, your teacher, or you get in trouble by an adult, they're like, that's on your permanent record. And you come to find out there is no motherfucking permanent record.
There is now.
My lawyer has a saying that he likes to say, Dana McClendon, if you guys don't know, look up Hot Crazy Matrix on YouTube. You'll love it. Or World Star Hip Hop. And he likes to say, he tells his kids, he goes, everything you put on the internet now has a permanent record. So, while you guys think you're in the protection of a closed group, remember, there is people in that closed group that are there just to cause problems. If you say something where you feel secure, that you would not say on a camera on television, if you wouldn't announce it, don't type it out, because there is nothing that is not a permanent record. They even have a thing that, like, we get accused every now and then. It's kind of toned down. We would run a sale or something, and there'd always be somebody mad, and they're like, your website didn't say this was a non-ETA item. It didn't say it was non-refundable. It said that it'll ship, in 6 to 8 weeks. Well, our website hasn't said 6 to 8 weeks for 10 years. It has said 8 to 12 weeks. But they're like, no, it didn't say that. I go, it says in big red letters, non-refundable, no ETA. We don't know when we're going to make this. And they're like, no, it didn't say that. You changed that as soon as I asked you about it. There is a website called Wayback Machine. You can go back on Wayback Machine and see almost any website. You can go back and see my website from 1999, 2000 maybe. Like, it was hand-drawn pictures. Like, we used to have to scan that shit in. It was crazy. But you can see our website. I think it's daily or weekly. You can see when that shit was changed. Everything you say, there is a record of it somewhere. It's just having the money to go find it, having the knowledge to go find it. But that's all even going away. Those borders are going away. You can find almost anything now. If you have pictures of yourself when you were out there younger, girls, somebody will see that. Like, that is going to come to your grandma. It's going to come up in church. That shit. There is a permanent record now. There is nothing secret.
Nothing secret. So just recently, I listened to a podcast about the Silk Road and Tor.
Those are good. Those are good. If you guys don't know about that, look into. There's some crazy shit even now.
There's supposed to be, Tor is supposed to be almost unbreakable, blah blah blah, all this shit.
The FBI is up in that.
But they've already figured out how to get around it. So even when you think, I know the big thing everybody's pushing right now is VPN.
What's that?
It's a subscription service that moves your
offshore.
Yeah, it kind of moves. It bounces. It bounces around. Okay. So like whenever I'm on my stuff at home, it always says I'm in Atlanta.
Okay.
So it bounces it around.
Gotcha. So it's not.
But none of those things. While they may be secure against me getting your information, anybody that's in the world and in the industry, they're going to find out how to get through there. So all the information that you put out on the internet, even if you're in a closed group and you're fucking using a secret squirrel name, you're totally findable. There's nothing you can do about it. If you put that information in there, it's held forever. So Google, like when Google takes something down, I saw something recently about Google taking something down. It's still there. It's still there. You can find it. It's still there. That stuff is forever.
Did you know that also on like the black web or whatever?
Uh-huh.
Right? Did you know that Google is less than 1% of fucking search traffic? Google is the biggest search engine, right?
Yeah.
YouTube is the second largest search engine. Less than 1% of the shit on the whole entire internet is searchable on Google. Like if you go into the dark web, I've never been there. I just saw some videos came up because of some of the other shit I was watching, and they were talking about why the dark web is so bad, and kid trafficking was one of them. So they've got or murder for hire. So they have all these sites. Like to get into these sites, you actually have to upload that shit. So if you're looking for kiddie porn, you have to upload your own kiddie porn. Boom, FBI. So they had they had a search, dude. They fucking they rounded up fucking thousands of motherfuckers.
The kiddie porn thing.
And that's the gateway. Well, yes, that's terrible. Yes, there are kids being fucking captive, and there's all the shit you hear. Yes, it's happening, but that's the stepping stone. Are they after that? Of course they're after that, but they're using that to open the door for all the rest of it.
For anything they want,
Actually, tell your kiddie porn. You don't have to put the name on it, but you have a frightening fucking kiddie porn story to go along with this shit.
So I have a really good friend. He's
like a fucking. He's 100% super dude.
He's fucking. As he is, if you envisioned a Boy Scout in the 1980s, like perfect Boy Scout, everything he touches turns to gold. This is him. He's fucking awesome. There's nothing he does that he takes on. Like if he's gonna fucking make a ham sandwich, you're gonna be like, that's the best ham sandwich I've ever had. So nothing he does, and it always turns to gold. And he is, for the most part, as straight of an arrow and square of a dude as you can find. Like
every accommodation the Marine Corps could give you. Accommodation.
You would, if I said that he did something bad, you'd be like, you're full of shit. He did not. You're full of shit. It's 100% true. I mean, he's a great guy.
Just don't say his name. You can tell the story.
Yeah. So FBI's doing they're doing a child porn sting.
But it goes even like I think you need to say like kind of what he does currently when this all happened. Like that makes it even fucking crazier.
Well, he went at the time it happened. He was in the SWAT. He was with a SWAT team.
A huge
SWAT team, and a golden child there, and everybody knows him. And working at a federal level. So like anytime you saw a school shooting or anything like that, this dude was flying out to those things for briefings. So just square as can be. Great guy. So the FBI is doing a child porn sting, right? And it's a jurisdictional task force, so they have to get a bunch of officers, but none of the officers that are part of the raiding party can be within that county. So it's all surrounding counties that are doing it. So they, out of courtesy, they go and talk to the sheriff, and they say, hey, we're getting ready to fucking thunderclap this dude's house for child pornography. The sheriff goes, you don't have the right guy. And they're like, no, we have the right guy. And the sheriff, again, is like, you don't have the right guy. And they go, well, we're doing it anyways. And then the sheriff goes, look, I know him. I will call him to the jail. He'll have to, because they were like, oh, because of all his training, we gotta
Super Ninja.
We got a
ray
Super
guns.
Ninja and fucking throw flashbangs, and they just wanted to blow something up because that's how they work. So sheriff's like, you don't need to do that. I'll call him and have him come here tomorrow to the jail. Meet me at the jail. He'll have to surrender his firearm to come into the jail. Boom.
And he won't think anything of it.
And he won't think any of it. Apprehension. Boom. You got your thing. We don't need to burn anybody's house down. So he gets the call and he has to go to the jail. And he gets to the jail and they goes into the conference room and lo and behold, there's 2 FBI agents. And they're like, hey, guess what? You're under arrest for child pornography. And Chris is like, oh, I said his name.
That's all right. They don't know.
Anyways,
right.
He's like, you guys are kidding, right? This is a joke? Ha 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 ha.
Where's Ashton Kutcher? I'm
yeah, is this, he's looking around, am I punked? And they're like, nope, you're the guy. We're never wrong. He's like, you're definitely wrong this time. So, what do you're a father, you got kids, what do you think? You got to think, oh shit, let's hope, you know what I'm saying? You never know. Well, they still go to his house. They still throw flashbangs at his house like some crazy shit's going on. They still take his father and his wife and kids and handcuff them and take them and put them out on the fucking sidewalk.
Little daughter.
Yeah, like they had just, I don't know, it's the Corleone family and we really got something here. Even if it was true, I would say this, even if it was true, there's no reason to treat everybody in that family like that.
They already had their dude in custody.
Yeah, they already had dude in custody. Anyway, so they go in there and they start tearing through the house. Now, for those of you who don't know, what they do is what the FBI does in order to make a solid case. In order for them to have a solid case is they send a file. So when you get down into the ditches with that shit, an FBI agent,
and it doesn't just have, and not just fucking porn kitty stuff, anything.
An FBI agent, that you have contacted about child pornography will send you a file. That file will be permanently attached to your computer. Once you open that file, once you open that file, boom, you open that file, there's kitty porn, oh shit. You have basically acknowledged to the FBI that is what you were doing, right? It's not an accident. It's not like, oh, I was looking at, I don't know, 18-year-old hotties, and boom, this is what it's. The FBI has probably, well, I bet the NSA's file is bigger, but they have real child pornography that the FBI is sending out to get you. So that file stays on your computer. So what they do is, when they come to your house, they basically rip through your computers to find that file. So they're going through his house, and they got nothing. They go through all the computers. They go through his safe, because guess what, guys? If the FBI has a warrant to search computers, they are going to search your safe too, because all the safes now come with an electrical outlet. So anywhere there's an outlet, they can search. So they go through all that stuff. They find a couple of guns that they completely misidentify. Like, misidentify so badly that if I would have been anywhere in the chain of command on that, I would have fired both of those officers because they were totally idiots. But anyways, so they go through, they don't find nothing. Chris is at the police station, and he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. You guys are retards. No, there's no child pornography at my house. They don't have nothing. But the FBI's like, we're never wrong. So they start interrogating Chris's son. Well, we know if it's not Chris, it's got to be you. So they start interrogating him. And Chris's son says, he's the first one to start this. He's like, you guys are at the wrong house. It's not here. It's that crazy kid next door. Guaranteed. And they're like, nope, we're never wrong. Do you have, is your router password protected? Yes, the router's password protected. And they're like, then no, it's not the neighbor next door. It's you. They take Chris's wife in. Same thing. She says, You guys made a mistake. It's not here. It's next door. FBI?
The weirdo next door.
Nope. Nothing. His daughter says the same thing. So now you have 3 people. You have no evidence.
3 people who are separated.
Yeah, 3 people are separated. You have no evidence. You've tried to find... It's like a dye pack. That's exactly what they're doing. They're sending a dye pack into your computer. It blows up. As soon as they get your computer, they're like, there it is. They're not finding any of that. They're not finding no evidence whatsoever. And you have 3 people pointing to the house next door. So they're going through all this. And fortunately, there were 2 officers from Los Angeles Sheriff's Department that was like, hey man, everybody's pointing at the neighbor. FBI agent says,
never.
We are never wrong. It's him. We have not found the computer that it's on. We're never wrong. So they keep going doing this. The sheriff's guys again are like, hey, what would it hurt to just go ask? And the FBI guy's like, we don't have a warrant. We can't search that. We can't search that house. But we're never wrong. Finally, end of the day. Now they hit his house at like, I want to say it was 6 o'clock in the morning. So it was early. So they hit the house early. Everybody's been dealing with all this, interrogation bullshit all day. Finally, end of the day, the sheriff guys are like, let us just go ask. FBI agent's like, okay, but you're wasting your time. Goes to the door, knocks on the door. Lady answers the door. Sheriffs are like, hey, is your son home? And she's like, yeah, my son's home. And they're like, do you mind if we talk to him? She's like, no, we don't mind at all. Goes to the room, opens the door. He's there looking at the fucking file as the sheriff guys walk into the room. He had hacked their router and was using their router to pull child porn into his computer. So push comes to shove. Hey, we got egg on our face. They try and get Chris, who's a total Boy Scout. They try and get Chris for now. Remember, this is as far as I'm concerned, this was an illegal search. But they try and get him for an unregistered assault rifle, or an unregistered AR-15 and an AK-47. Now, the AK-47 was actually, go ahead and look this up. It's a MAS, M-A-S-49. Looks nothing like an AK-47. Now, if they'd have said SKS, I might have went with them. But they said AK-47. Looks nothing like that, and is totally legal in the state of California. And the M16, or the AR-15 that they got, was a blue letter from the sheriff's department, which means he can totally legally have it. So they still tried to get him with that. They brought in California Department of Justice. They're like, yeah, these are assault rifles. California Department of Justice took them. And then 2 weeks later, they're like, yeah, we fucked up. These are not assault rifles. We're sending them to the sheriff's department. But that, I mean, it's that simple. And, you think about your routers, even with a secured password. Even the bullshit passwords that you put on your router, they don't mean nothing to somebody who really knows computers. They'll get around your password. Because your password is probably what? Your dog's name? Your fucking address?
There's a back door in all those motherfuckers.
Yeah, there's a back door in all those motherfuckers. So you just never know what, you never know what tomorrow's going to bring or what federal agency is going to be knocking at your door because you decided that you wanted to stockpile Mountain House food. One day that may be a problem.
Yep.
One day all the people that have extra food may be a problem for the federal government. You don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. I mean, that's the sad thing about the internet is you really need to be careful what you put out on the internet because tomorrow's a totally different day, and you may be putting something out there that I want, or the federal government wants. And it's so easy to find people nowadays. I mean, so easy to find people. Just crazy how easy it is to find people.
You were saying like when Google takes your shit down, it's still there. Go right now if you want to test this on a kind of along those same lines. Go delete your Facebook page. Delete your Facebook page, shut that motherfucker down. Don't do any social media for a week or so. Go back and start a new Facebook page. Your Facebook page fucking resumes right where you stopped it.
Right where you stopped it.
I have an Instagram account. We have the Instagram account you guys see, and then I have another Instagram account that was our original Instagram account set up by an employee. So we had some problems marketing on Instagram because our Instagram was not on the same email as our Facebook page, so we couldn't merge them. Well, we got around that shit, but we don't use that Instagram account because there's only like 1,000 people on it, whereas the other one has 35,000, 40,000, whatever. So we don't use it. Every single day, literally, I get 5 emails from Instagram going, hey, so-and-so posted this. Hey, so-and-so posted that. Reclaim your Instagram account. Turn your Instagram account. We can reset your password. We don't have a use for it. We have access to it. They want you back on there. Literally, I block the fucking email and send it to spam. I fucking send it to junk mail. They get right around that shit. You still see, and you know another crazy thing too that's happened. I'll get emails from whoever, right? I'll get an email from this tomato sauce company. And I'll get an email to the point I'm tired of seeing it. I will set a rule. I will send it to junk mail. It will automatically delete it. When we talk about this Contadina organic tomato sauce, it takes it back out of my spam. Like, it fucking rewrites the fucking Outlook rule. It's fucking insane how in-depth and how fucking commingled all your shit is now.
Yeah. Something that, well, some of you probably know this, but I bet a lot of you don't know this, is when you hit that button that says I agree. Yeah, I agree. They list all that stuff and it says I agree, and you never read it. One of the things inside of Facebook is when you agreed to use that site, you gave up your rights to everything on your page. Facebook actually owns all the pictures that you put on the page, not you. Tomorrow, if Mark Zuckerberg wanted to take that picture of you from 1972 in your birthday suit and use it as a promotion, he can do it because you signed away the rights to that picture the minute you put it on Facebook. So, I mean, I know it's crazy to think, should I read all this and does it really matter? I mean, that's the thing. People don't care about stuff until it's
they care about it.
Yeah, until it's too late. It's like John says a lot of times, it's not a problem until it's a problem. And that's the same thing with Facebook or anything. It's not a problem until it's a problem. I know we started talking about 23andMe.
Yep.
They are sharing that information with other agencies.
They just got busted out.
They are sharing that information with other agencies. The sad part is, and you probably don't think about this when you went, hey, I'm going to do 23andMe and then I'm going to
be part Cherokee.
I'm going to be part Cherokee, or I'm going to find a cousin I never knew I had. If you never knew you had it, then it doesn't matter if you find him now.
And if you do find him, you don't want him.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter. You're not 23andMe. When you take those DNA tests, I promise you, is not helping you one bit, but it is definitely helping them. It's first off, it's going to become a money scheme. Second, they're going to use the information in 23andMe against you eventually. Now, what most people don't understand about 23andMe is it's not just you. When you go to take that 23andMe test, when you go to take it, you are technically affecting everyone in your gene pool, past and future.
Yep.
Past and future. So let's say you have some sort of
it's for profiling.
So let's say you have some sort of rare genetic defect that only comes out, every fourth generation. That your great grandchild is going to be like loving life and doing all kinds of crazy shit with interdimensional spacecraft, and then all of a sudden they're going to be like, how come my insurance company just dropped me? What the fuck is this all about? Remember when your great-great-grandfather took that 23andMe? we found out you're fucked. That's what it's going to happen. That's what it's always going to get. That shit information is going to get used against you. I mean, let's say...
I've said that from fucking day one.
Let's say tomorrow, or let's say not tomorrow, but let's go 20 years in the future. President Nancy Pelosi decides, you know what? Anybody,
let's say cancer gene,
that has the cancer gene, we're just going to kill him.
We're gonna weed that out.
We're just going to weed that out.
Same,
we don't.
Same thing the United States did with eugenics. And Hitler later did.
We're gonna make the world a better place. We're just going to weed that gene out. You can't. We're not going to kill you.
We're not going to even tell you about it.
But you can't get married. You can't have kids. You can't socialize with other people because we want to make sure that somehow they don't catch your dirty cancer.
We're going to put you on an island.
I mean, that's where we're going with that. That's the only reason why. It is the only reason why you save that type of information. Because of what you can use it for later. It's, you have the NSA right now stockpiling every fucking piece of internet shit that's going. It's all going into these fucking computers and it's just sitting there. The NSA will tell you, needle in a haystack. Needle in a fucking haystack. If they wanted to find, I don't know, everybody that's wearing black shoes today, it would be hard. Today.
There's some super
But in the future, they're going to have the capability to go through all that information and find out everything they want to find out about you. They're going to have a fucking dossier and a file on every single American. And everything you've searched for on the internet, all that, all that erotic foot porn that you've been looking at, it's going to be in there. Now, you may not think it's a big deal now, but, maybe your kid gets put on a fucking watch list because of all the erotic foot porn that you've been looking at. You don't know. They have something that some people might not know is in North Korea, they have I can't remember what they call it, but it's a generational crime. So let's say you commit a certain crime in North Korea. If it's treason, we'll just say treason. If North Korea decides that that you are treasonous, 3 generations pay for that crime. No shit, 3 generations. Grandpa goes to jail. Your dad goes to jail. You go to jail. Done deal. 3 generations pay for that crime. What if, some fucking crazy motherfucker in this country decides that's okay? You right now may have committed a crime
that you don't even know
you don't know you've committed because it's a future crime that your child will have to pay for because of the internet. Just because of the internet. I know that sounds crazy.
Sounds pretty far-fetched, right?
It sounds far-fetched, but they're doing it. They're testing the waters. They're currently doing things. So
there's some great videos. There's a dude who's a whistleblower that said, I wrote the program they are using to data mine all the information with. And we have a way to actually look at this and analyze it, but they didn't want to use that way to do it. They wanted, instead, they wait till a crime happens, and then they put together the information to find out who committed the crime when they totally could be preventing the crime. And it all came down to it all came down to being private. Like the way they wanted to do it, it kept checks and balances in place. And they didn't want to do that. And he came out and man, they ruined this fucking guy, but he goes around doing fucking tours. He first spoke. He does a lot of speaking engagements overseas, but he's on YouTube. If you just look up NSA, just put in fucking NSA, and you'll find all the stuff on the data farms and stuff. You will find this, dudes. If anybody's interested in it, I'll put it in the notes somewhere. If you guys ask for it, I'll take the time to find it. But it's about 2 hours long, and it is fucking really worth listening to.
And the weird thing about computers too, the thing that not a lot of people kind of look at is I can remotely. I can't. I'm not 10 and I don't live in my basement.
They can.
But they can remotely operate your computer. So they can remotely get into your computer and
Listen to your phone.
Use your computer for whatever they want. So and I'm not talking about just looking at your credit card statements or watching you in the living room picking your nose. I'm talking about using your computer, using your router location to do something somewhere else. So when the FBI does come to kick in the door of the fucking child predator and you're there in your underwear picking your nose and you're like, what the fuck are you talking about? They can do that. They can manipulate your computer for your computer to be the dead end. And if they can do that, how far in the future is it before you have the government deciding, well, this guy is actually a bad guy. He's a bad guy. We know he's a bad guy because he's been hoarding all this Mountain House food, but we're going to put something on his computer that will give us a reason to go into his house and arrest him. That's doable right now. They could do that right now. And who's going to argue, especially when you think about child pornography, who's going to argue that? Who's going to go
when they want to burn a dude for ABC or XYZ? All they got to do is yell child porn.
Who's going to argue whether or not the government did that? They have the oh my god, they're all the child pornography that's going anywhere in the world is going through the federal government.
They're moving it all.
It's crazy. Once again, not saying that those guys should not saying that those guys are there's not something wrong with them, but you just never know. I mean, right now they're talking about. I think Elon Musk was talking about this. That right now there is nothing that you can see or hear. There's nothing that you can see or hear that can't be faked. That cannot be faked. There's a computer program in Canada that they just recently some computer program in Canada that they just recently released, and you can actually look it up and use it, where it will use your voice. So you talk into this thing and you're like, hey, what's going on, blah blah blah, and the program recreates your voice structure, and then somebody else, John, can be like, I'm going to type in something weird like, I don't know, Skully really likes Glock 19s. And it will play that back that will sound like I said it.
Not only that, there's been programs for over a decade right now where I can get in I can send a text from a phone. I can text message Jeff's wife and go, hey, I don't like what you're cooking for dinner, so I ordered a big fat pizza. And it will come from Jeff. I could break up with your girlfriend from your phone, and you never knew it fucking happened. But when you get home, your chick's pretty fucking pissed off. Like, anything you can think of, if you saw it 10 years ago on 24 with Jack Bauer...
Yeah, they're doing it today.
They were doing that shit then.
They're definitely doing it now. It's going to be an interesting future. I mean, realistically, they could, if they wanted to, they could have Donald Trump come on national TV and say, we're attacking the Russians tomorrow. The Russians could be like, oh, fuck, and start attacking us anyways, and Donald Trump be asleep in the White House, none the wiser. They could do that. They can recreate it. I mean, right now, this is probably about 5 years old, but they said that they had enough digital footage of Arnold Schwarzenegger.
That's the one everybody says.
That they could make a movie
after he's dead,
where they don't need him at all. Like, he doesn't even have to show up. I want to say that the last Terminator, 90% of that was no Arnold Schwarzenegger. That it was all digitally done. So, I mean, just think about that. If they can, then pretty soon you're not going to be even able to trust what you see with your eyes. Or hear, or what you're hearing, because they can generate up whatever they want. So, I mean, it's going to be we're coming up on a brave new world.
And keep in mind too, so like you see stuff about history, and you're like, that's not what we were taught. YouTube is going around and pulling a lot of that shit. It used to be, especially like the conspiracy videos, when you'd watch one or two, it would recommend 100 more. YouTube stopped doing that. YouTube decides what you get to see now. Facebook, James Yeager just had a fucking thing on his Instagram. It's a picture of James. There's no cuss words in the stuff. There is nothing there's nothing nothing rude, nothing angry, nothing in there. And it has a button to report it if you find this post offensive. It is literally a picture of James, a YouTube picture of James. I believe it was on Instagram. I saw that the other day. I saw something, if I find this post offensive. And it was, of course, nothing at all that I found offensive. But they're making it easy to just silence people. Like, that's what's fucking going on. Especially, like, during the election, you saw all the political shit. Like, it was crazy. So, just remember that, man. You're not safe anywhere, computer-wise. Don't believe anything Jeff or I told you.
Security
password. If it even piqued your interest, look it up for yourself. When you make your passwords, don't use stuff that you use all the time, and use upper and lowercase. Use symbols, asterisks, whatever. Use upper, lowercase. Use spaces. Just make it hard to get into your passwords. And don't use your passwords like when you use real passwords. Don't use your fucking same passwords on all these bullshit websites where you have to set shit up, because that's what's always gets hacked, and then they've got all your passwords you used everywhere.
They went from a numerical combination password because what a lot of people don't realize is if I put a numerical password on something, that's my personal property. They can't make me tell them what my password is to whatever. So if I have a laptop and it's got a numerical password on there, they cannot make me tell them what the password is. But what you don't know is your fingerprints do not belong to you. So all the new programs where you're putting your finger on it, those fingerprints do not belong to you. The police department does not need a warrant to make you touch that screen because your fingerprints do not belong to you. Little bit of a problem there because you got to get the guy to put his fucking finger on the thing, and there's you can move your hand around pretty good. Maybe they can't get you to put your thumb on it. That's why everything's going to facial recognition. Your face does not belong to you. So when you use facial recognition on your computer to go, hey, let me look at Google. I want to look at shoe porn. That's all they'll do. They'll just be like, oh, okay, let me get you, look into the fucking thing, and boom, they're into your software or into whatever you're doing on your computer or whatever it is in your life. So it's getting to the point where we are going down the Big Brother road, where pretty soon they're going to be regulating everything.
We have a lot of Apple products here. I hate Apple. Hate Apple. I don't have an Apple phone. There's a bunch of Apple computers here. When you guys see me do a live feed, it's off of an iPad Pro. We've got 3 or 4 iPads in here. It is to the point now, when you do an update on this Apple, you do not go a week and not have another update.
Yeah.
And then they do these security updates. Now, they want you to put your thumbprint on there, and I don't use that because I want anybody in the building to be able to... We run all of our shit on the iPads. So I want Jeff to be able to use it without having my thumbprint or my security code. But it is literally to the point where they are they trick you. Like, you have to push 5 or 6 buttons and click some bullshit to not use the fucking thumbprint code or a numerical password. I don't want them passworded. But they have fucking updated that shit. And once you do the update, the next day there's another fucking update. And they want the fucking facial recognition. They want the thumbprint. They want the numerical shit. It is getting to the point where you don't have a choice. Like, if you're going to use those products, that's what it will be. There's not gonna be another way.
And it's always about making things, when we're
gonna make it more secure for you.
It's gonna be more secure, but it's making you more comfortable. These are less, oh my God, I had to type in a 4-digit password. Oh, that's so taxing. You know what would be nice? If I just had to put my thumb on there. And then you're gonna be like, man, sometimes I'm holding it in the other hand and I don't want to use that thumb, and it would just be nice if this thing would just recognize my face. You're giving all this stuff up to third parties.
See the commercial? Dude's asleep with his phone in his lap. His chick comes up. Tries to open it with his fingers. And then when she leaves, he takes his shoe off and he opens it with his big toe.
Big toe, yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, that's That's the big thing. That's the big common thing. If you want to take away people's rights, just make them comfortable. Make them comfortable. Make them comfortable. That's all this socialist bullshit that's going on in the Democratic Party. It's only happening because they're comfortable. Once socialism kicks in and they're no longer comfortable, and fucking Nancy Pelosi has to stand in line for a roll of toilet paper, everybody will be like, "What the fuck did we do this for?" It's because people are comfortable. Once you start getting comfortable, you're like, "Oh, we can afford to pay everybody's fucking health care. We can't afford to pay for everybody's health care if people aren't making fucking healthy decisions."
Not only that, look how many third world shitholes right now used to be the place you would go and vacation.
Yeah.
Like, those places collapsed because of that shit. Don't believe anything we're saying. Yeah. And ask yourself, too, like, we're doing these videos. Why do we do these videos? We don't make any fucking money off of these videos. We just want to pique your interest. We want you to be a little better. We want you to be a little faster. We want you to be a little more educated. Entertaining. Yeah, these are entertaining. You guys come in, you say you love these. Are you listening to this on the audio podcast, or are you watching this on the video? We have a lot of people saying they watch both. They listen to it because we upload them a couple days earlier on the audio podcast, and then people watch it on video. We have some that only do one or the other, and then we have some that do both. And typically the guys doing both go, you know, it means a little different because we can see your body language, or we can see your movement, or I caught something the second time. Entertainment. Education. We hope to educate you a little bit. We talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. Leave some comments. Like, we go through those comments. If there's nothing in the comments, we come in here and we kind of wing it, and hopefully we come up with something. We did today. When we walked in here, we had about 3 minutes of material. So if you have something you want to talk about, something you want to address, something you want to know, especially business-wise within our business, you know, throw that in there. We can talk about that. And then thirdly, we make nylon tactical gear. There are people coming here who have not a clue what we do. We make nylon tactical gear. We make some lifestyle gear. We make stuff for, you know, if you see dudes on CNN rescuing or blowing something up or whatever it is, chances are they've got a piece of our gear. As a byproduct, we also make stuff that you can use in everyday life, whether you're an off-roader or you like fast cars, or, you know, you like to hike, or you've got a dog. We make all kinds of we make something for everybody. So check us out. It's soetacticalgear.com, and just look at our stuff. Don't buy anything today. Go on our Facebook, especially. I do live feeds almost every single day. You can interact with us if you want to know something. I don't like your beard. You need to dye this gray. You need to dye this black. I hate that you wear fucking black shirts. I think you're the sexiest motherfucker alive. Whatever it is you want to say, come in and say it. And we're on live feed. We'll interact with you. You can see the product that we actually built this day, what's available, our stuff. We do business a lot differently than anybody you're used to doing business with. And if you have a business, you will fucking love the way we do business, and you'll learn and take some new little piece to your puzzle. We have an Amazon store. It's on our website. It's soetacticalgear.com is our website. And if you like what we did here, if you just click that Amazon button, it'll take you straight to Amazon. It won't look any different. Anything you buy on Amazon in the next 48 hours, we get 1% back. So if you like what we're doing, leave some thumbs up. If you fucking hate us, leave some thumbs down. Tell us what you think. And if you like us, just fucking share us, man. Just interact with us. Leave us some ratings of wherever you're listening to the podcast. Leave some comments on Facebook. We're on Instagram also. And you can see what we do. We don't build a ton of stuff. We build a little bit of a lot of things every single day. And they sell out. Literally, if you see me make a post at 2 o'clock, and you're seeing the post at 8 o'clock on Instagram, chances are that shit's gone. But interact with us, talk to us on every medium you can, and just do better shit, man. Fucking that's it, really. Just be better in whatever aspect that is. Like, the last thing you do today is the first thing you don't have to do tomorrow. Whatever that is, whatever it is you're into.
If that's shoe porn, I don't think they're coming for you. You're not on the top of the list, so just you're good with your shoe porn.
And if your kids are little assholes, it's because you don't hit them hard enough.
That could be true.
We should go out there and probably sock Sebastian.
Smash it one time.
All right, turn that shit off. They think I'm the sexy one. You know that, right?
That's all right. I don't care. I don't.
Even up.